Good morning, Jackson, West Tennessee. Welcome in Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live right here at Caddy Sports Club, your destination for all things golf and entertainment right here in Jackson. Gonna make sure we got our sound rolling here, and very excited about today's show. We've got all right. We've got Lindsay Dawkins, the chief of staff from the Greater Jackson Chamber, coming in. She'll be talking about state games here in just a few minutes, followed up by Alexis Capellas, head coach of the Jackson State volleyball program, the new head coach, the inaugural program, the inaugural season coming up this year, and very excited to see where that goes for volleyball here in West Tennessee. Just another option for our kids to stay local if they so choose to do so. And then not only that, but hey, they can save some money by maybe living at home and allowing school to be quasi paid for in a lot of ways. If students get that Tennessee Promise, they are then able to stay at the house, get school pretty much paid for, and that's a huge plus when it comes to the tuition. It's a huge plus when it comes to the taxing on the family for paying for any type of schooling and that kind of stuff. And so it's really cool to be able to have that opportunity for our kids. And now Jackson State, they're expanding their programs, right? So we'll have Alexis Capellas in today. We're working on getting the cross country program set up to have them in studio. I'll just go ahead and tell you early on in the show as you're watching or rewatching this, and we appreciate all those that go back and rewatch the show at some point. And we, obviously Saturday mornings prime time for, especially in the summer, for lake days, river days, golf outings. Take us with you out there. You got your phone. Take us with you out there on the course. But if not, come right here to Caddies and take care of your golf outing right here. But we understand that we have a lot of people that go back and rewatch this. So as you're rewatching this, and hearing this for the first time, maybe, it's one of those things where we want to promote our kids and continue to give them the opportunities that they deserve, that they, that not necessarily just their 15 minutes of fame, but to give them the opportunity to be spotlighted in whatever capacity they are trying to advance in life in. And to be honest with you, I'm a sports fanatic. I love sports. I love all things about sports. And watched what a game by Tennessee last night, getting up on Florida early. They had a rough, I think, fourth inning where they gave up the home run to Florida, but they pounced, and that was 11-3 ball game. Congratulations to the Lady Volunteers. McCall Sims from Westview High School, going to be a Lady Vols next year, so we'll be watching that intensely as we always do. But Women's College World Series going on, and what what a great opportunity for, again, our local kids to go be on the national spotlight stage. But Jackson State, I want to come back to them for a second. Jackson State is doing a great job of expanding their athletic programs to offer more things. I think I think Dr. Lynham over there is a progressive thinker when this comes to that. And so as you progress with this sports that you may or may not offer, Coach, I think one of the things that Tommy Separello and I would be great to team up on would be a golf program out there for Jackson State. Hey, I may even have my doctorate finished by Christmas. And, who knows? Maybe there would be a nice opening over at Jackson State for the coach. But nonetheless, hey, we want to continue to promote that because our kids, they go there locally. And kind of what I was going to get to is while I promote sports and while I promote all aspects of sports, is that if I could, I would take my cameras and I would go in and also film sports surgeries. I'm a biologist. I'm really intent on learning about life and how the body works and how all those things function with biology. Taught in Florida for many years, and just the marine biology side of that was fabulous. But what was really cool is to be able to film that dissection or of the shark or whatever we might have been working on. And so that side of thing is really intriguing me. So when I think about Jackson State and what our kids are getting athletically, that's great. But what I also think about is one of the best nursing programs in the state. To be able to come out and, graduate high school in Jackson-Madison County with not only your high school diploma, but maybe an associate's degree, and then your licensure towards becoming a professional, health professional in some way, shape, or form, whether that's in healthcare or in other things, right? So we have a lot of kids that is ready to, that are prepared for life because of the opportunities that programs like Jackson State Community College is giving to our kids, even at the early age of 16, 17 in high school, right, when they're taking those classes. And so it's great that our public schools, our private schools have these opportunities to partner with Jackson State to get these kids credits and to be able to have that opportunity to maybe save themselves some money. And that's, as a parent, I've got a 22-year-old son that's still in college, and he spent a year at Jackson State, and the ability to go there and to save some money and to have that opportunity to not be burdened as a family. I mean, that's huge. And then if you can go and play sports, there's an opportunity for that money to take care of everything else, right? So what an opportunity. Again, Jackson State cannot rave enough about them that they're doing. And the expansion of sports. I mean, here we are, volleyball and cross country this year. Who knows what we'll have next year. And so we're very excited to talk about that. And we'll talk about with Alexis Capella's head coach of Jackson State a little later on. Hey, I do, if you were watching College World Series, I do believe this happened last night, a Randy Johnson-esque moment in the College World Series and of softball. And so I don't remember who was on the mound. I didn't catch the whole story, but I do know that Oregon was pitching. And the pitcher for Oregon goes through her windup. If you know anything about softball, that ball's coming from the hip and not from the overhand, right? So it's a different type of throw. But what I thought was extremely interesting, and I'll post some information on the Hub City Sports Network. And also, hey, guys, we got some big news about the Hub City Sports Network coming down the pipe. So always stay tuned to our Facebook page. But you can find us right now on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. But anyway, so Oregon's pitching last night. I don't know what inning it was. The pitcher makes her wind up, and as she drags her foot, she kicks up a very large piece of dirt. You can see it. It looks like it might be, 1 to 2 inches round, like a little clog of dirt. And then she fires her pitch towards the batter, the catcher, right towards home plate. The camera guy was spot on. I just have to say this, being in sports broadcasting now and doing camera work and things like that, this is one of those things where, when you have fabulous camera work, when you got a camera guy like this, these professionals out there do a great job. But the camera guy caught the moment that the pitch was released, and the pitch caught perfectly in the center of the ball. It caught that mud clog, and it exploded it. And when I talk about that Randy Johnson-esque moment, if you remember back in the 90s, Randy Johnson is pitching, and he throws his baseball, and unfortunately a bird flew between him and home plate. His baseball exploded that bird into a million pieces. This happened last night in College World Series of softball. It exploded that dirt clog, and the dirt went everywhere, but pieces of it went into the catcher's mask that then went into her eyes. And you could see her drop to her knees. She reaches for her face. She gets up. And then on the replay, you really realize what happened, because she catches the ball. You don't really see it in real time. But when you take that slow moment, go to any of the social media sites of sports, and you'll find that clip. I mean, what a coincidence, right? That this ball and this dirt clog happens to be 3 feet off the ground at the same exact time. Again, Randy Johnson-esque, that bird just happens to fly through the stadium between home plate and the pitcher's mound. At the same time, Randy Johnson is in his windup, and Randy Johnson's throwing a 90-mile-an-hour plus fastball that again explodes this bird. But this dirt clog, it was just really cool to see. Good news is that the catcher for Oregon was perfectly fine. There was no issues with her. She was able to resume game. She got up, cleaned her eyes out, and moved on. So very cool to see that. That's just one of those sports moments that if you're a sports nut and you're a sports fan, you just think about. As soon as that happened, as soon as I saw that, I thought, hey, wow, Randy Johnson-esque moment right here in the Women's College World Series. But Tennessee, I believe 11-3, they stay alive in the elimination game. So they will face, I believe, the loser of the Oklahoma. Yeah, and I knew I was going to forget who they're going to play. The Oklahoma game today. So they will face the loser of that in another elimination game, but an opportunity there. So you see the call line there on the bottom of our screen. We are without a phone again today. We do apologize, so we will not take calls online. We are in a shortened session this morning as well. We do have Jackson Boom Ignite playing today at 2:30 over at USJ, so you can catch that game. The high school basketball all-star game is also taking place over at TCA this evening about 5:30. I do believe is tip-off time, so there's a lot of sports things going on. I'm not sure about the Jackson not sure about the Jackson Rockabillies, if they're playing today or not. But, hey, what a game last night. Rockabilly seemed to be somewhat on fire. And the Rockabillies get the win. And final score there over the Cape Catfish. I love that name. Our Rockabilly's the GOAT, and I love this thing. that the Rockabillys have going on. But the Cape Catfish, we're sitting right there on the Mississippi River. Rockabillys win 8-7. They got I think a 13-12 win the other night. But Brett Rogers, number 14 for the Rockabillys, he's the GOAT of the game. Congratulations to Brett Rogers for being last night's GOAT of the game for the Rockabillys, and they get the win. Another thing coming up on June 4th for the Rockabillys, Strikeout Cancer Night. Lots of things going on at the Rockabilly Stadium. They do a great job of promotions. And so the first 500 children, 12 and under, will receive baseball from the Kirkland Cancer Center. Let's come out and support Strikeout Cancer Night. If you, I don't know very many people in my lifetime or that I know personally have not been affected somehow, not whether it's them personally or a loved one they know or a friend, family member, somebody that, they've been affected by cancer. And it's definitely something that I take to heart. My father died of cancer. My grandfather died of cancer on both sides of my family. And so it's definitely something that, I keep in the back of my mind in a lot of ways because of that. So, hey, if you got a comment or something, leave that in our Facebook post this morning. And again, we're without a phone today, and we're going to remedy that situation. Hey, let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll have Lindsey Dawkins in the house, the chief of staff over at the Chamber, Jackson Chamber. And we're going to talk about state games till the top of the hour, and then we'll have Jackson State head volleyball coach Alexis Capellas in the house as well. So we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when we come back, we'll talk state games right here on Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live from Caddy's Sports Club right here in Jackson, Tennessee. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Get ready, basketball fans, and welcome to The Bounce, your go-to destination for all things hoops. Join us every Thursday night from 6 to 7 p.m. starting February 13th, as Andrew Hicks will bring you the wildest highlights, in-depth discussions on trades, injury updates, and those unforgettable buzzer beaters. Whether you're a hardcore enthusiast or just looking for some epic plays, we've got something for everyone. So grab your favorite snacks and tune in for the action-packed episodes each and every Thursday night on the Hub City Sports Network. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, and we'll see you in the next stream.
As the road you travel changes, so can your insurance needs. Talking with Farmers Insurance agent Jeremy Chandler can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. There's a reason the Jeremy Chandler Agency was voted Best Insurance Agency in VIP Magazine's Best in Jackson 2024. Give Jeremy a call today at 731-FARMERS and find out why. That's Jeremy Chandler at 731-327-6377 or contact him at 731farmers.com.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't.
And welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live on location right here at Caddy Sports Club. And very excited about this next guest here because, when we talk about sports, it's a never-ending cycle. If you're a parent of any kids that play sports, and I'm talking about clay shooting all the way to football, basketball, or anything else in between, that summer months go crazy. And it's one of those things where it's great to see that, and we're going to talk about state games here this morning. So let me bring you real quick here into the studio. Mrs. Lindsay Dawkins Moon.
Yes,
Did I
thank
get that
you.
right?
You got it.
All right. Welcome in Sports Talk Live with the coach. And you are, just give us a little rundown. You are chief of staff, I think is what I read at the chamber. So kind of give us a rundown on what your job is there, and then also what part of the state games you're taking a part in, and kind of give us the rundown of state games, because this is new for us here in Jackson, right? So first time to ever host this.
Yeah, you're right. So I would say my day-to-day job is I work at the Greater Jackson Chamber, and we're a membership business organization. We do a lot of economic and community development in Jackson and the region, and so proud to be a part of that team and the good work that's being done there. And one of the things that we have kind of taken on is our State Games of Tennessee, and it is new to Jackson. And I always like to tell people we didn't make this up. There are 30 other states that have state games, and we're actually governed by the National Congress of State Games, which is part of the Olympic Committee, and so a legit organization. And state games goes back to the 70s. New York started it, and I like to describe it as a Olympic-style multi-sporting event festival for the residents of your state.
Well, that's really cool.
It is really cool because we haven't had this around here, and it's a way for, amateur folks, not your high caliber, people that are in collegiate athletics and stuff like that, but it's your everyday person, your travel teams that can be involved. And we're just excited that Jackson is the host city for the entire state. And so residents across Tennessee get to come here and enjoy a fun couple weekends of just great sporting events. And we're starting small, like you said, first year, so
Right.
inaugural year. We anticipate between 1,500 to 1,600 athletes
Wow.
that will come and participate, and that's from youth sports to adult sports to individual and team sports. We've kind of picked around 12 sports this year, and then we have a growth plan of adding sports for the next few years of growing. We did want to start small because we want everybody to have a great experience.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's just a fun opportunity for everybody to be a part of. Like you said, sports kind of wraps around everybody. If
Yeah.
it's youth played, your kids play, your grandkids play, in some sport most people are engaged in, and sports tourism is a big thing around here. We have regularly 90 to 100 baseball teams that are out at the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex. And so we have some great facilities here in Jackson, and it's an opportunity for folks even to see what we have here in Jackson, if it's our community colleges or our universities, our private schools, our public schools, that we do have great facilities and more coming on the way.
Yeah.
And so this is a fun way that we can engage people. One of the two parts that kind of make State Games of Tennessee different than other, travel tournaments and different things like that, because people ask us, one, there are qualifying events. Let's just say, we'll take baseball for instance. If you place gold, silver, bronze in your age division, you get to participate, or you could participate in the State Games of America, and that is held every 2 years.
Okay.
So in 2026, it is at Penn State University. And so you can represent Tennessee at the national level.
Wow.
And play. And there are sports that we will have, horseshoes, for instance, as a qualifying event. And
Okay.
so
Yeah, I was going to ask. So,
yeah.
can you run down some of the sports? And obviously, with 1,600 athletes coming into town,
Yeah.
may not catch them all. But what are some of the more prominent sports, or maybe even some of the less prominent sports that people
Yeah.
might be able to see?
just so I don't lie to you, I'll pull them up. So we have youth baseball and youth softball.
Okay.
Those will be two of our bigger sports that we have. Pickleball, Registration just closed. We have about just under 200 athletes participating in the pickleball
Wow.
tournaments.
Okay.
And so that will be fun.
Yeah.
We have youth tennis. We have a disc golf, cornhole,
Okay.
horseshoes,
All right.
wedge golf, and that's a sport that actually started here in Jackson. A group of people really kind of made it up in their backyard, but it's a type of golf where you're using just one club, a wedge, and it's a different type of ball that isn't going to necessarily break windows and sail.
Right.
And then instead of making it into the hole, it's actually basically like a hula hoop
Yeah.
ring that you're making it into. And so it will be a fun event.
Yeah, that's cool.
We have track and field and a variety of events that go with that. We have, just so I don't lie, I'm gonna pull the rest of them. You'd think I'd have them memorized.
No, that's okay. I mean, with 1,700 athletes, you may not,
Track and field, we talked about that one. Soccer, that
Okay.
one's still going. Youth soccer on that one. Youth volleyball. We have a 5K trail run, and then also a 5K road race as well. And we talked about cornhole and disc golf, horseshoes, wedge. So those are the events that we will have this year. And then, like I said, we'll keep adding every year. We wanted to start small, have
Right.
fun. And then the other aspect of it being different than other tournaments is that we will, in the true Olympic spirit, we're going to have an open ceremonies.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
And
so
so
tell us about that.
Yeah, that's Friday, June 6th. So next Friday coming up, 6:30 at the Jackson Rockabilly's Stadium. And it is free, open to the community. Anybody can be a participant of it. But we will have a parade of athletes. So just like the Olympics, all the athletes that are participating, that we will kind of walk around the warning track, which will be fun, and they'll get to see their faces on the Jumbotron. And then we will have a concert by the University of Memphis at Lambeth, their ensemble group. So
Okay.
fun time there.
Very cool.
We will have a few little special guests. We'll actually have some Olympians come and be a part of it.
Wow.
We will have the lighting of the cauldron, which is a fun part of it. William Still, a local business here, they designed and built our cauldron, which is over 9 feet tall and around 1,000 pounds. And
Wow.
so it's a big one, but it will be fun to see. And then we'll cap it off with some fireworks. And so a fun event for all the athletes participating, but also open to the community, family friendly. Come out, help us welcome the games to
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Definitely. I mean, that's going to be a very exciting night. I work with Special Olympics, and to be able to watch the torch ceremony with that reminiscence of what they do with the Olympics, this is kind of another similar type thing for state games. And if you're a sports fan, especially of Olympic sports, some people don't like to watch NBA basketball or Major League Baseball, and I get it, but they're true Olympians, right? They love the Olympic Games. I'm one of those, but I happen to watch everything else in between as well. As an American, it makes you proud that our athletes are there to represent. And so I'm not an official Tennessean because I wasn't born in the state of Tennessee, but obviously I've lived here now for, as I said, obviously, most people might not know this, but I've lived here almost 20 years, so I guess I'm a Tennessean now, right?
Same.
It just makes you proud to see your athletes out there representing your state, and then to know that in a couple years they could go represent your state on a national stage, just like the Olympics kind of does as well. And I'll be covering the Switzerland versus USA soccer game on the 10th. That's happening in Nashville. So very excited about just being able to go there and talk with some folks and cover that a little bit. But it's really cool that we have these opportunities for our athletes, especially in events that don't get a lot of recognition, like wedge golf maybe, right? That's a backyard made-up game, or horseshoes or something to that extent.
Right. And, I love that it's really open for everybody. And that's what we wanted to be, because I wish that I could go to the Olympics and play. I know that I am not that good of an athlete to ever make it, but this is kind of our opportunity, you know, the amateur scene,
Right.
that we can have our own Olympics here in the state.
Yeah.
And it is open to those, you know, travel team kids, but also, you know, a weekend walker that you can also come and participate and be a part of the games. And one thing that we do want to do is add in, you know, the Special Olympics type in future years of adaptive sports and
Yeah.
make it inclusive for everybody to be a part of and just have fun and really rally our community together, but also the state together
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I know you said that a lot of I think the pickleball registration has closed. Probably a lot of the registrations have closed at this point because this starts next week.
It does. Some of them have closed, some of our team sports,
Okay.
but some are still open. And
Okay.
so you can go to stategamesoftn.com and you can click sports, and it has the list of the days, the locations, and then registration for the ones that are still open. You can go and click and sign up. Like those runs, track and field, different things like that are still open. So
okay.
we encourage you, come be a part of it, even if, hey, you just want to try it out this
Right.
year.
And,
It'll be
and
fun.
if not, come out and spectate. So
That's right.
the opening ceremonies will begin this the 6th. I say this Friday. Well, it is
It's
this Friday.
Friday,
It's Saturday
yeah.
now. So this Friday, the 6th. What time?
6:30
6:30?
is when doors will open,
Okay.
and there will be concessions. You can eat, you can enjoy concert, watch the cauldron being lit, fireworks, and just have a good night.
That's really cool. And then what about the events themselves? When will they be? And like, are we looking at, is this all in one day, on next day on Saturday, or does this take place over the course of the next week? How does that work?
Yeah, so a lot of our team sports are on June 7th and 8th, so that's Saturday and Sunday after the open ceremonies. And then a lot of our adult sports are on the following weekend, so that June 14th and 15th,
Okay.
Friday and Saturday. And then some of them are like a 5K, obviously that'll be done in an hour or so,
Sure.
quick and short. Some of our team sports will be there all day
Yeah.
for multiple days.
Right.
And as they get going and finish up. And so, but you can go to stategamesoftn.com and you can see the full schedule of when all those sports and where they're all located, because we'll be kind of all across town, from the Sportsplex to some of our schools, USJ, to our city parks, Conger Park, North Park, Tennis Center, a lot of different places.
Yeah, it's going to be. It takes a lot of facilities to host that many activities, and as you said, you kind of started small to make sure that, you know, one, you want to do things well, right? So starting as big as you possibly can may not always work out like you planned. So starting small, getting a game plan, and then expanding from there. I think that's really smart for this to happen here locally, and then it gives, I think, people that option to go see and view what it is, and then as they want to become a part of that, I don't want to say East Tennessee versus West Tennessee type thing, but a lot of things happen Nashville and East often that don't always happen on this side of the state. So it's really cool that our athletes, flag football, for instance, in high school
Right.
sports, was on this side of the state this year. And they've been doing it on the east side for 3 or 4 years, and now it's over here. So it's really cool to see that. How did Jackson and I guess get selected to be the city to host this particular game? And will it be do we have a contract to host it for the next consecutive years, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we applied through the National Congress of State Games. We had to fill out an application. It had to go to a committee of theirs that oversees states that want to join. And so they reviewed our application, went through the nomination process, and so we were awarded the host city for Tennessee.
Okay.
And it is ours to keep forever.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so Jackson will always be the host city of the State Games of Tennessee. Now, as we grow and add more games, we will probably see more different locations, just because Jackson doesn't have every single facility or opportunity for sports that might be popular in the state. And so we will be branching out and utilizing some other towns and cities, but a majority of the sports will always be here, and open ceremonies we always want to keep here as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's one of those things where, we hope that once you have it, you kind of get to keep it. And so, one of the things we definitely want to say is a community come out and support this, right? So it's only as good as our community will rally behind it and keep it here.
That's right. Yes, we want our East Tennessee folks and Middle Tennessee folks come over here and participate in the games, and that'll grow more each year. But we also want our Jackson and regional community to come out because it is kind of in their backyard, and come and enjoy the games and be a part of it. And like you said, hey, if you don't want to participate this year, come and watch. Come to open ceremonies and see what it's all about, and tell others about it, because it'll just continue to grow and grow. But we need people to just talk about it.
Definitely. Now, what about, and I'll kind of wrap it up with this, what about volunteers? Because obviously this doesn't happen if you don't have people there to make it happen. And, I know that the chamber has a few employees, but it's not unlimited, right? There's people that work out at the park, but it's not unlimited. And all of these different sites are going to need people to be to man these events. So are you using volunteers? How, are there paid opportunities for folks? How does that work? And do you guys still need volunteers for this?
Yeah, without volunteers and sponsors, State Games of Tennessee would never happen. And so you can volunteers. There's still a couple of sites that we could use them. And so if you go to stategamesoftn.com, there's a volunteer page. And if you click on that, it kind of shows all the opportunities that are still available. And so feel free to sign up. We would love to have you be involved. And then, like I said, sponsors are always a great, without them, West Tennessee Healthcare, they're our presenting sponsor, and they're also taking care of our medical needs because we're in the summer and we need trainers and sports, and so they're taking care of us. And then Coca-Cola, they're also a big sponsor to make sure everybody stays hydrated in the heat. And so we're thankful for all of those volunteers and sponsors that truly make this happen.
Yeah, that's very cool. And again, you can't do anything, small events, much less large events for the whole state like this without volunteers. So you mentioned the website. Give that out one more time. Is there a local number that if somebody wanted some more specific information, they could call?
Yeah, so stategamesoftn.com, and that number is listed on there, but it's 731-423-2200. And if you can leave a voicemail, and we'll get back to you if you call over the weekend. And there's also an email address that you can find all that on the website.
Right. But you need to call and get signed up now, because next Friday night, opening ceremonies,
That's right.
6:30 p.m., doors open at the Rockabilly Stadium here in Jackson. It will be a night of celebration, honoring all these athletes that will come into Jackson to participate in these events. Again, soccer, softball, baseball, all the way down to some wedge golf and cornhole and everything in between.
That's right.
It's really cool. Thank you so much for coming in today and talking about this. We're going to try to be out there, and especially for opening ceremonies. And I'm going to take a little vacation towards the end of state games, but we're trying to make sure that we do give some coverage to this as well, and very excited. And then hopefully next year, so is this a yearly or is it bi-yearly?
It'll be a yearly.
Okay, yearly thing. Mm-hmm. Right. All right. So next year we'll talk about this and maybe try to be able to broadcast some of these events and things. I think it's going to be really cool for Jackson.
I think it'll be great, and we appreciate your support, and we'll just keep making it bigger and better every year.
That's it. Very cool. Lindsay Dawkins Moon from the Chamber of Commerce here in Jackson, Chief of Staff, thanks for coming in this morning and talking about state games. Folks, again, if you want to get involved in this in any way, shape, or form, head over to the website, and we'll let her give it one more time.
stategamesoftn.com.
stategamesoftn.com. And get signed up if you want to be a participant. If not, if you just want to volunteer, you can sign up there as well. There's a number there to call if you need to get some local information. Please reach out to those individuals and come out and support. That's what we really want. We want to fill the stands up and have these athletes supported and cheered on through their competition all over the state, right here in Jackson, Tennessee, starting next Friday It's going to be a very exciting time. Hey, don't go away, folks. We're going to step away for just about a 2-minute break, and when we come back, Alexis Capellas, head coach of Jackson State Community College Volleyball. It's a new program this year. We've had her on kind of to introduce her to Jackson, but let's now talk about the nitty-gritty of volleyball, because as we hit summer, yeah, teachers are out. I'm happy for my summer break. I sure am. But we know that summer breaks go very quickly. Volleyball will be right around the corner before we know it. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Get ready, basketball fans, and welcome to The Bounce, your go-to destination for all things hoops. Join us every Thursday night from 6 to 7 p.m. starting February 13th, as Andrew Hicks will bring you the wildest highlights, in-depth discussions on trades, injury updates, and those unforgettable buzzer beaters. Whether you're a hardcore enthusiast or just looking for some epic plays, we've got something for everyone. So grab your favorite snacks and tune in for the action-packed episodes each and every Thursday night on the Hub City Sports Network. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, and we'll see you in the next stream.
As the road you travel changes, so can your insurance needs. Talking with Farmers Insurance agent Jeremy Chandler can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. There's a reason the Jeremy Chandler Agency was voted Best Insurance Agency in VIP Magazine's Best in Jackson 2024. Give Jeremy a call today at 731-FARMERS and find out why. That's Jeremy Chandler at 731-327-6377 or contact him at 731farmers.com.
Planning your financial future can be a daunting task. With all the things you want to achieve, how do you prepare so your money will go the distance? Here's some advice that may help. Why not talk to your local Woodman Life representative? They can answer all your questions, and together you can fill out a free needs analysis to help identify your short and long-term financial goals. Our representative can then recommend insurance and annuity solutions to help make your financial future safe and secure, so that all those things you want to achieve remain firmly in your sights.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bonifer, your local Woodman Life representative. Did you know that the life insurance you have through work may not be there for you if you change jobs? Call me at 731-423-4784 to discuss your options for protecting your family's financial future.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Hey, welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach Steve Stratton, live right here at Caddy Sports Club, the world-famous indoor golfing facility right here in Jackson, Tennessee. If you've not been over here, you need to get over here today starting at 11 o'clock. They've got specials for lunch, drink specials, and then you can hit the links indoors. Now, I understand if you're a true golfer, you might be like, man, I've got to be outside playing golf on the green. I've got to have the experience, and that's fine. As soon as you're done, come on over here, get your refreshments, polish up on those shots that you mishit while you were out there on the course, on their driving range right here at Caddy's, and make it happen. And so excited. We just had an interview with Lindsay Dawkins-Moon, Chief of Staff of the Chamber of Commerce right here in Jackson, Tennessee. State games coming to Jackson this year. In fact, not only this year, next week, right here in Jackson, the opening ceremonies. What a cool event that's going to be, as the parade of athletes, the lighting of the torch for state games, very reminiscent of the Olympics and how that is. There's going to be an ensemble music addition to this as well, so you get a little free concert, meet the athletes, and then cheer on these folks as they will begin the next day competing for events in their area. So very excited about that. Also very excited about a returning guest right now. Let me introduce once again Miss Alexis Capellas, head coach of the Jackson State Lady Green Jays volleyball program. Alexis, welcome back to Sports Talk Live with the coach. This is the second time you've been on with us, and so we had the opportunity to introduce you to kind of Jackson and being hired as the head coach. But now you've been to work, and you've kind of become familiar with Jackson and the schools and the communities around Jackson, and so kind of just give us your thoughts now that you've been here for a few weeks, a few months now, right? Kind of give us your thought on that, and then we're going to talk some nitty-gritty about volleyball here in a second.
For sure. I think Jackson has been a really cool area to live in. Coaches have been incredible to reach out to. I feel like we have a really good and supportive community. It's really cool when you have so just for example, I have camps coming up within the next few weeks, and I've had middle school and high school coaches just reaching out asking, can I come to your camp? Can we talk? Can we learn together? Can we go through the motions, kind of go through everything together? And I think that's been one of the most exciting things, is just seeing how much buy-in there is from the community, how much excitement there is for the sport within the community. So it's been a really cool transition into Jackson.
So what, not from being from Jackson, and
Sure.
I wasn't from Jackson 20 years ago either, right? So what is something that maybe Jackson, you've been exposed to in Jackson, and we can be careful with that because it could be negative, but let's be positive about everything, right? What's something you've been exposed to that maybe wasn't something you were used to in your hometown?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I'm from Jonesboro, Arkansas, and it's so funny because we say all the time Jonesboro and Jackson are so similar. I think that's one of the reasons I love it so much here, is because it is so similar, obviously to where I've been. I think one of the biggest differences, obviously Jonesboro has Arkansas State, but here I think it's a really cool thing that we have 2 Division II schools within our town, having Lane College, having Union. It's really good opportunities for our kids to be seen and be able to stay in Jackson if that's something that they're wanting to do, is be able to stay local. And good for us just to be able to, scrimmage teams like that, or go and play in the spring, or just opportunities, bigger opportunities within the town.
Okay. And you talked about A-State. I'm an alum of A-State.
Yeah.
So, I really appreciate the Wolfpack over there.
For sure.
And it's really cool to see not Butch Jones crying on the sideline, but it's really cool to see their success. But then also to know, like you said, we've got a conglomerate of
For sure.
Athletic programs in and around Jackson.
Yeah.
Bethel and UTM. You've got Lane and Union and Freed Hardman, and I think that's all of our 4-year universities. Oh, Lambeth, University of Memphis at Lambeth. Their athletic program is not, I think, what they thought it might could have turned out to be. They were looking maybe to add some, but really haven't. But then we got community college programs right here in the city, Jackson State, and then even Dyersburg State right up the road, right? So it's an opportunity for our kids, like you said, to be able to stay local if they want to. And for me, I kind of opened the show with this, is that for Jackson State, and you could speak to this a little bit, a kid gets a 21 on their ACT, they get Tennessee Promise. It's pretty much paid for. Then if they get an athletic scholarship, that kind of goes into their expenditure fund, so to speak, where they can use that for other things, books and whatever, food or things on campus. How does that work? Do you guys still give those scholarships out athletically?
Yes, it's very dependent, obviously, based off sports, how many LOIs, as we call them, letter of intents, that we're able to give out, which is scholarships. And per sport, it's different, dependent on the baseball and softball is going to be a bigger LOI number than I'm going to be, just because of the need for more players than the need for how many players that I'm going to need. We do have the opportunity to give out athletic scholarships. I do think one of the coolest things is having that opportunity to have Tennessee Promise and get your school paid for. it's just a really good opportunity. There's not a lot of places that you can go and get, 2 years at a junior college paid for pretty
Right.
much completely by the state. So that's just a really good add-on for us that we're
Yeah.
able to, add on top of that.
And it's almost like if you have somebody that gets that score, it's almost like giving them a scholarship to come
Right.
play sports,
For
right?
sure.
So now a kid that may say, hey, I couldn't have gone and played sports because I might have to work, family situations, whatever reason. I have to take night school classes
Yeah.
because I have to work during the day to pay for school.
Right.
Now they can go to school.
For sure.
And if they're able to work out living situations and other arrangements, they can still play sports as well.
Right.
And so I think it gives that athlete that one up, so
For
to
sure.
speak, to be able to do that. Now, that's on the kids.
Yeah.
They're in high school to work hard and get that 21 on their ACT. That's not
Correct.
an easty task.
Yeah.
You can't just go write your name on the test and get a 21. You got to pay attention in school, but to know that, hey, school could be paid for at least for the first 2 years
For sure.
is really cool to see that, right?
Absolutely. I think it's, the biggest thing is, like you said, there's a lot of opportunities that, a kid out of high school might not have to go to a 4-year school. I mean, if we're talking about NAIs, the amount of money that you're paying for an NAI school, sometimes you can't do right out of high school. So being able to do that Tennessee Promise, we tell everyone, or I tell everyone, I'm very biased, but I love the JUCO route, coming and getting 2 years paid for, getting the opportunity to play, and now all these opportunities for 4 years that maybe you haven't been able to pay for or wasn't an option becomes an option after those 2 years of junior college.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Well, enough about the politics side of getting into school.
Yeah.
We talk about it a little bit because it's relevant, right?
For
I mean,
sure.
obviously, for them to come to school there is a financial obligation
For sure.
for that. So it's very relevant, and I think it's great for our parents and our kids to hear that from a coach to
For
say,
sure.
hey, here's a way to do this. Think about it economically.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking Union or Lane or any of the other schools, UTM or anybody else, but if I had a chance to go for free for 2 years, I might take that option to know
sure.
that. I mean, my school was probably $80,000.
Wow.
To go to school for those 4 years, only because I left Ohio State, and if I hadn't left there, it could have been well over 100,000. And so. I just don't. I look back and go, where would I have gotten that money from, right?
Yeah.
And so now here's an option for our kids to go for free. It's one of those things that a conversation I think needs to take place, and I appreciate you saying those things about it. But let's talk about what's really important on this show, Sports Talk Live with the Coach, is the athletic side of it.
Sure.
And so head volleyball coach, you've been busy, right? So this is not just, hey, I'm stepping into a program and taking over as the new head coach. I'm building this program along with the athletic administration from scratch.
Yes.
So talk about that. How has that gone? And I'm sure you've been, up late at night and you kind of racking your brain going, how's this going to work? But it seems like it's all coming together very nicely and well thought out as from what I've seen and heard. And I've got an inside scoop with the Coach Tommy Saparillo, right? So
The best, if he's
keeps me-
watching.
he typically is. I haven't seen him pop in yet, but I'm sure he will. But yeah, one of those things, and he's going to be on the show next week, by the way, to
Awesome.
talk about some baseball.
Yeah.
But one of those things where this is not just, hey, this is the next head coach. This is the first head coach, and by the way, we've got to have all of our players too.
Yeah.
So talk about that process and how that's gone.
I'll say just first, it's been a privilege. I think a lot of people don't get the opportunity to, one, be a head coach at the age that I'm at right now, but also be a head coach for a program that you get to build from the ground up. As you said, it's been the coolest experience ever. It's been a little stressful at times, but it's also been, one of and I tell everyone, just one of the coolest things in the whole world, getting to build this whole team, getting to build it from the ground up, getting to build a culture and set expectations and really just build this program, how me and my assistant coach think is going to be best to make us successful within this area. I think adding volleyball, not even just at Jackson State, but Dyersburg as well, there is so much talent within West Tennessee that these East Tennessee schools haven't been buying into because they've had all their East Tennessee kids.
Right.
But there's so many gyms and so many really good kids, for this year and for next year that we've already had, commit to us and say they want to come to Jackson State. And I think that's just been the biggest the biggest thing is just knowing, we're a first-year program, and we tell everyone, don't let first-year programs scare you. Me and my assistant coach are very established. We've played at very high levels. He's worked within the systems within Division I, and, coming in, these past 8 months, I've worked my butt off to establish this program so that once our kids get in, it feels like a program that's been here. It's not something where they feel like every day is a new thing. We're building, we're learning. So it's been a really, really cool experience.
Yeah, and talk about your support from administration, because again, hearing not being in the offices, but being able to hear the talk around town of what's going on. How has that worked for you and been a support in this time of building this program?
Confidently, 110%, we have the best administration, I would say, in the whole entire world, and I tell everyone that. Just starting with our athletic director, he has been so incredible. Having somebody that believes in you. I was 23 when I took this job. Having someone that believes in you that much to come in and build a program, and not only just believe in you, but support you every step of the way. Obviously, this is my first head coaching gig. There's a lot of things I know, but there's a lot of things I don't know too. And, I've just had to be really open to learning and growing. And, he's answered 1,000,001 questions for me. He's helped me. He's supported me along the way. And I think that's been probably one of the biggest cornerstones of why this program is where it is right now. So it's very special when you have administration that is so supportive and so involved. Also, our president, she's incredible. If you're in Jackson, you've probably heard of her.
Yep.
She has just turned Jackson State, and I tell everyone, the president and Dr. Lynham, our athletic director, has turned Jackson State's world upside down in the most incredible, positive, impactful way that you can, ever think of. Just the opportunities that are growing, the positive culture that's growing within Jackson State is just really, really cool. So, we're a community college, whatever anyone wants to say, but I say we have the best administration in the world, and none of this would have, obviously been possible without them.
Yeah, I think you have to have a level of visionary
For sure.
leadership, right? When you're adding programs to a high school, you kind of expect that they're there. But when you add programs to a college, there are so many other aspects that aren't seen or thought about.
For sure.
And mainly the financial side of it. As you said, there are a level of scholarships that you're giving out to these athletes, but the cost of this, the travel for high schools, we travel maybe an hour or so. You could travel all the way across the state, and then out of state, right? So now you've got issues with transportation and room and board and all these things that normally a community college really doesn't have or think about.
Sure.
Because that's not one of those things that's on the radar, right? And so your administration, I've seen Dr. Lynham at Walmart and Sam's, and he's at every event. He's supporting, and I think, I think Coach Separillo said it. I don't know, probably has said it multiple times, but just the leadership from the top down and how that's growing and developing for Jackson State is giving it kind of that, I would say almost like beginning of a dominance in community college athletics. And our teams are starting to respond and rebound to that. We're seeing some bigger names coming to Jackson State, even in basketball and baseball, and would love to see softball continue to grow. Now we have cross country and volleyball, and talk about some of your players, if you would, that you've recruited. Who are we going to see? Because I've seen some posts a little bit here and there of people. I'm like, oh, hey, that girl can play some volleyball. So talk about your players.
There's definitely a few I talk about. We have two-time West Tennessee Player of the Year, Tegan Reed. She's a really good volleyball player, but she's also a really good person. She's probably one of the most humble athletes I've met, which is really incredible when you have someone that has had Division I offers and had Division II offers and, had these offers to bigger schools, but understand she wants to come JUCO because she wants to work and she wants to go to that higher level Division I. Having somebody that's already really good at volleyball, but has that growth mindset of I can get better and I want to get better every single day. Coming from the rival school Dyersburg, we got Callie Maslin. She's playing both volleyball and basketball, but really cool opportunity to have her here as well. We have some really good out-of-state kids as well. We have a 6'2" kid coming from Florida. Her name's Charlie. She is incredible. Got somebody from Oklahoma, got a kid from Arkansas, just signed somebody from Mississippi as well. But yeah, we got people from all over Tennessee. I think that was a big thing too, getting from West Tennessee, but also, branching out. And for me, why are we not taking those top kids that, some of the other teams in our conference are getting? So, kind of dipping our toes into the, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Clarksville, and then all the way into the, the Chattanoogas and the Morristowns and Knoxvilles. And
well, and I think about it this way too, is that Jackson State just opened up a program. I know Dyersburg State added it as well. How many players do you have? What's your roster number?
I have 19.
19. Mm-hmm. So that's 19 young ladies that potentially would have not played because maybe they didn't have those D1 offers or the larger school offers and that they thought they were going to get, and they might have said, well, if I'm not going to be able to do this, I'm just going to go be a student, and now maybe the school's free, and that changes their mind, and said they're like, hey, let's stay in this game and continue to develop and grow and see where we can go. One of the cool things I think that some people don't think about is the ruling about the JUCO year not counting towards your NCAA. So is that still something that I'm assuming that will go with volleyball as well?
Well, so actually it hasn't been fully ruled on yet. I know it was just ruled on the Vanderbilt quarterback.
Right.
I know that was in December, I believe, because we were all at the ABC conference and it came up and everyone was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? So it hasn't been something that's been officially ruled on yet of if it's actually going to happen or not. I think it's in the works. I think there's multiple different avenues people are working towards. Is it a 5-year clock that's going to start now? Is it going to be the JUCO for the 2 years? Nobody really knows yet. I guess just stay tuned for more of the legislation.
And you're right, because it hadn't officially passed, but obviously that talk. And we
for sure.
We saw nil-deal stuff get talked about for about a year and a half or so, and then next thing you know, it's wild, wild west with money. So I would venture to say that that's probably going to come down the pipe and probably get ruled on. At least to get that 1 year, maybe not both years, but at least one of those years comped, so that you have the ability. The only thing I don't want to see is some 40-year-old guy or woman going and playing college, because they didn't start on time and they got 16 years.
It changes everything. Those two.
Of course, I'm exaggerating that, but it's ridiculous.
You never know
to think about that. But so players from all over the state, players from out of state coming in. I talked about Florida. I mean, athletes galore in Florida
for sure,
and some of the best sports in all the United States come out of the state of Florida. So to have that, talk about that height, that dynamic, because you're not the tallest volleyball player to walk on a court, right?
Never.
But you were very successful in what you did, and there is a place for somebody who is not 6'2", 6'3", but there is a dynamic of having some girls. I mean, you look at Stanford, you look at Florida, I mean, they got some 6'6", 6'7" girls on their teams, and it's like, whoa, that changes the net play around the net completely. And some people may not have yet the dynamic of what volleyball is all about, and positioning and players on the field, on the court, because players from the front can go to the back and the back can come to the front, depending on what colored jersey you might have on and all those things. It's a little weird at times. But talk about that, having those players like that on your field of play, your court, and what that will do to the dynamic of your team.
Absolutely. So I think our team's a really good mix of, we have some really tall girls, and then we have some girls that are just really bouncy, as we call them, great vertical. Maybe they're a little bit shorter, which makes them under-recruited, but they have that big vertical. So, for example, Tegan Reed, she's 5'5", 5'6", but when you have a 40-inch vertical, you play like you're 6'2", but a lot of times, you know, when you're talking about four-year schools, you don't necessarily see the vertical and the work, you see the height. So I think 2 years for her is really good because, you know, now we see the height and we see, you know, how much you're working, but we see the results that come with that as well. But I do think the dynamic of having some, you know, very tall girls, you know, 6'2" kid from Florida, 6'1" middle. We have a couple kids over 6 foot, a lot of, you know, higher in the 5 foot, 5'10", 5'11" girls. I just think that's a very big mental thing. You know, when you step out on the court and you see someone that's 6'2" on the other side of the net, it's a little intimidating sometimes. But I will say it's a really good mix of, you know, the kind of the dynamic and heights and, you know, bounciness and things that we do have. But I do think that makes a very big difference when you have people that are that tall, because even if, for say, they don't play to their height or play to that, it's just a mental block when you walk out there to see someone that big, you know, next to you on the net.
And if we could kind of change the subject to a little bit of maybe some X's and O's as we talk about there. Is your style of coaching and what you want to see is playing from the back, or and I don't want you to give away your whole game plan, right? Because you don't want anybody scouting this, and you know, Dyersburg State may get a hold of this and then hear it. But you know what? But I mean, there is a level of X's and O's that comes with every game, right? And so when you're thinking about that, with maybe some girls that aren't 6'4", 6'5", is there more of a would there or could there be more of a presence of playing out of the back of the court than out of the front? And how does that work when you have those teams like that?
For sure. I think defense always wins championships. So for us, serve, receive, and defense is going to be a cornerstone of who we are, because if we can't pass the ball, a setter and a hitter doesn't matter. So obviously passing is a big thing for us. But, you know, even on a shorter hitter, we run tempo. Like everything that we run, and I mean, it doesn't give anything away, we're going to run it quick. If I have someone that's shorter, we're going to run a quick tempo. We're going to beat whoever's on the other side of that net. So I think for us, it's playing really great defense and being able to switch to that more tempo set where we're running everything pretty quick is going to be big for us. I don't want to say playing out of the front, playing out of the back.
Right.
Great defense, fast offense. I think without giving away too much, that's just
I
just
completely
who we're
understand.
gonna be.
You know, it's kind of like asking a basketball coach, "Hey, what's your set on inbounds play?" And then drawing it up for you. It's like, well, wait a minute. Coach Hicks, the basketball coach over Madison, he had a show on, and he would do actually diagram plays on his show, and he'd be like, cool. This is a play, you know, that Syracuse runs, and we run this, and how, you know, and he brings another coach on. Well, coach, how you guard that? And I'm looking at him like, man, you're giving away your stuff.
Yeah,
like, why would you do that? But in the end, you still have to defend it.
For
right?
sure.
So teams that come out, if they're not going to defend that quick play, or they're going to try to be overly aggressive, and you got that good defense and things like that, you just combat it and win in other ways, right?
For sure. And I think, you know, one of the biggest things too is, you know, watching film and preparing, every team isn't going to be the same. So what we do is going to have to be different every game. You know, the way, let's just take conference, for example, the way we play Dyersburg is going to be different than the way we play Walter State. You know, the way we play Pulaski is going to be different from the way we play Cleveland. So I think also keeping, you know, having options, you know, them learning different defenses, learning different offenses, learning different plays, everything is just going to be, you know, we'll have that core system, but knowing we have to adjust based off who's on the other side of the net is going to be a big thing as well.
Right. So talk about your assistant coach, because that's been a recent hire, right? So you talked about all of those things leading up to building this program with administration and things like that, but a lot of that's been done solo, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm probably going to butcher his name here, but is it Bushart?
Bushart. Yes.
All right, Bushart. Nicholas Bushart, the assistant coach, was hired just a few weeks ago, I think.
Yes, sir.
And so let's talk about him a little bit and introduce him to the community.
For sure.
And again, we'll get you back in here when the season kicks off, and you guys, you know, bring some players and whatnot. Obviously, summer break, but it's you know, talk about that, because you kind of shoulder that load of building this team alone. But how is it to have that helpmate, so to speak, of my assistant coach on board, and
absolutely,
especially coming up with the season, less than 2 months away now?
Yeah, it's everything. And I think, you know, Nick being here is really special. We were both assistant coaches in the same conference these past years. So Nick is someone I've known for, I would say a little over a year now. We've had a really good relationship, being able to talk about coaching and understanding. He's from the Memphis area. So when I took this job, immediately he was my first call of, how do you want, do you want to move closer to home? What's the look? What are we kind of going for? And, just some events and, things happening, everything kind of just fell together in the sense of, he was able to come here. And I think one of the things, growing this program alone for so long and now having him, I think one of the best things that makes a great head coach is having a great assistant coach, someone that you can trust, someone that's, he has done SID communication work at the Division I level, the school he's coming from, top 20 JUCO program. He coached some All-Americans hitting wise. So it's just really cool having someone that's so invested and, very knowledgeable of the sport. It does take a little bit of that load off of me knowing that there's someone else here to help as well. And he's been incredible. It's been really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just somebody, as you talked about, even like the paperwork that needs to be done. You're doing all that and then still trying to go recruit and still trying to make sure that the gym is ready and all those things, and it's when you have that help, it's always nice. And again, going out and hiring good folks, right?
Yeah.
So as you said, he's coached at high levels. He's somebody that's going to come in that you don't necessarily have to train maybe your style, but not necessarily train the game to, because this is not a high school coach that's now coming to a college facility. And it's great to see that our community colleges are going out and not knocking our high school coaches, because our high school coaches do a great and fabulous job with our kids.
Absolutely.
But sometimes a high school coach is a teacher that was thrown into coaching because they needed somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they never played that sport, and now they become the soccer coach or the volleyball coach, or the golf coach or something to that extent. And it's difficult to go teach something you've never played on a competitive level. So it's great to see that the administration is going out and finding these folks to bring to Jackson to say, hey, we're going to be competitive. We've got to have competitive coaches and knowledged people, right?
For sure. I think that's one of the coolest in our dynamics of, I played at that very high level, so I understand playing at that level, and he's coached at that level. But I tell everyone, too, I think the dynamic of a coaching staff of someone who's played and someone who hasn't played is really good, because there's some things for me, little details or just little things that to me, I'm used to playing it. To me, that's quote unquote common sense. I know that. For him, that's something that he's really had to learn to the nitty gritty, the details, the small details, everything in between. So sometimes when we're going through things, maybe he catches something I don't, or maybe he sees a different, perspective of something that I don't. So it's really cool just to have that different perspective of, he's been many places, I've been many places. Being able to come together and mesh all of those together has just been really one of the coolest things.
Yeah, and one of the things for guys, right, there's not really been a lot of presence of volleyball.
For sure.
There's some states that have high school volleyball for men, for the men's programs. A few colleges that have. It's more of a club thing, I think, at the university level still, even today. And it's one of those things where I think a guy learns a female sport like that. For softball was for me when I was coaching that, is, throwing an underhand pitch. I've never thrown an underhand pitch unless I'm just throwing a wiffle ball to my, nieces or whatever, when they were playing. But it was like, to learn that, you learn a technical side of it. You learn the analytic side of it, I think, from being the opposite gender in that sport.
Sure.
And so I think you being out there on the floor, as you said, it just came second nature, because it just became something that you did every day. It was ingrained in you, it was part of you, part of your being. But for us as guys that coaching a sport like that, we really had to sit down and learn the analytic side of it, watch a lot of film and understand why this is happening, because we never experienced that.
For sure.
And I think that complements somebody like you who is coming from the playing side, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so it gives you that different viewpoint that sometimes we don't see.
I agree.
Coach, what else is going on with the volleyball program? I mean,
Goodness.
just you're getting to the summer here.
We are.
When will the girls report?
Sure.
When does the season kick off? We definitely want to get you back in.
Absolutely.
And talk about this when the season kicks off. But how can people buy season tickets to volleyball? How does that work? Where can they go to get that information?
Sure.
Give us the rundown, because
Summer's here. It's going to go quick, and
the
next thing you know, volleyball is going to be upon us.
It is. So actually, games will be, as of right now, free admission for everyone to get in. You don't have to buy tickets.
Okay.
Everyone is able just to come in. I know with the summer right now, all my girls are doing their summer workouts that we have sent out. We're also doing a book study. over the book Chop Wood, Carry Water. I'm not sure if you guys have ever read it. Incredible book. But every week we have a Zoom meeting. We go over the chapters for that book. We go over how workouts were, obviously for that week. But I think one of the biggest things of, that we're trying to teach right now within the summer, and a lot of what Chop Wood, Carry Water comes with is, falling in love with the process and not just the outcome, like falling in love with the journey and the everyday and the ins and outs, understanding that you're building your house every single day. Kind of within the first few chapters of the book, this guy was going to retire, and they asked him to build this house one more time, and he didn't want to do it, so he was delegating tasks, and he didn't do a great job on this house. And then by the end of him building this house, the owner came and told him, congratulations on your hard years of work, this house is yours. And he was kind of just like, if I would have known that this would have been my house, how would have I gone about things differently? And I think that's a big stressor for us this summer, is getting them to understand, most programs, you're walking into a house, it's already built, everything's already in there, everything's already established. For us, we have to establish this foundation, and then we have to build this house. And, the house for us is not just volleyball. We talk about one side's academics, and the other side is community, and the other side is how are we as people, and how are we growing? And then obviously the volleyball aspect comes in on that one side of the house as well. But that's a big thing for us right now, is really just learning, culture building things. And, we are building our house. That's a big thing you'll probably hear this year around us is, chopping your wood and carrying your water. And, the time will come for us to, be able to do those things. So props to my girls. They're working really hard this summer on their workouts. They're working really hard on that book study, which is really cool. We're moving in at the end of July. JUCO, you can't technically start touching a ball till August 1st, but for us, we move in a little bit early. They get a booklet with everything in it. We'll go over everything. This year we're meeting with like a sports psychologist, culture builder for an hour for 3 days in a row. I think that's a big thing. Volleyball is very mental. I think if mentally you're not there, you can't perform physically. I think mental is just as important as physical. And, for people that know me, they know mental health is something that I'm very big about. So those few days we'll just work. We'll do stuff with sports psychologists. We'll really just come together. I feel like I tell everyone, the first few days when you meet a new team, it's like super awkward. And then 3 days later, they're all best friends. So kind of getting that weird period of, everyone getting to know each other and all the things over with. And then we'll start on August 1st, our first home game, August the 27th against Bethel JV. And then we kind of just go from there. But
and from there it just rolls, right?
Yeah.
So we talk about this in the high schools a lot with athletic directors and principals and things like that. But the saying is, so goes your athletic program, so goes your kind of your hallways, your school, right? Football is one of those sports that kicks off August, first week in August there for high schools, and they kind of set the tone. If you got a football team that struggles, then people that come out, your fan base might struggle for the rest of the year and things like that. You guys are kind of that program for Jackson State, right? Yeah. So before it was basketball was kind of the first sports, and then baseball, softball being spring. So how does it feel to have all this pressure thrown onto you that, hey, we're kind of setting the tone for Jackson State Community College sports this year, along with the new cross-country program, right?
Sure. I think pressure is a privilege, and that's something we talk about as well. And as a coach, I want to be able to take that pressure off all of my girls and put that on myself. Maybe that's a thing I deal with when I'm in my office, and I'm going to take all y'all's pressure. I want to keep it. And I just think that's part of coaching, is taking that off. But that is something we talk about, like pressure is a privilege, and that just means things are expected of you. And that's a really cool thing. Like, we can either look at pressure as something that's negative and it's going to affect us, or we can take that and make it into something that's positive. I think one of the best ways to handle pressure as well is just taking things day by day, and we talk about that a lot, within our meetings of, obviously we know our big goals. We want to win conference, we want to go to districts, we want to go to nationals, but what are those little inches and those little stair steps that it's going to take to get there? Because we can't just have these big goals without anything else. So finding those little inches that we're going to do every single day, going 1-0 at everything we do. You wake up and you go 1-0 1-0 in the classroom, and then we're going to go 1-0 in the weight room, and then we're going to go 1-0 in film, and then we're going to go 1-0 in practice. And by the end of the day, we're 5-0 instead of worrying about we have this whole day ahead of us that's just massive, and it looks massive. So I think just taking things day by day, taking things task by task is one of the biggest ways to kind of handle that pressure. But again, it is pressure. You know, being a new program, you know, they've put a lot of resources, they put a lot of time, they put a lot of effort into this sport. So, you know, I take a lot of pride in, you know, building a good team and wanting a good team to come and show out for Jackson this year.
I'm working on a some type of a seminar thing that I want to do personally, but professionally in this aspect for coaches. And you're going to be my first keynote speaker, if you don't mind. Because what you just said, I think, is spot on. You know, you talked about the mental capacity, taking that stress off of your players and whatnot. And I think it's hard at the high school level because, you know, you're a volleyball coach. You're not necessarily teaching a full day worth of classes and then coaching volleyball. You know, you're the volleyball coach. Whereas in high school, you know, I've got to go teach 4 blocks of biology before I can go then focus on the outcome of the game, and then I have to focus on that outcome, right? So all those little things that you just talked about, being 1-0 in the classroom, being 1-0 in the weight room, being 1-0 in this and that, in the lunchroom, and the way you act and you behave, all those things are so important to the outcome at the end of the day.
It is.
And I think some people overlook that aspect. And I think some people don't know how to fit that into their programs at the high school level or even at the college level. I've seen that happen where everybody's kind of running amok, and then you can tell by the outcomes of the athletic competitions, right? And so I really appreciate you saying that. I think it's one of the most overlooked things in sport. And you talked about when I was playing football, and this is back in the 90s, we had people that came to us that were psychologists and mental health workers and things like that. And of course, it wasn't a big as outlook on it back then as it is now, but it was for the NCAA, right? So we've always had a component of that, people to talk to and have those things. That was almost non-existent at the community college level, probably even to the last 5 to 10 years, I would think, in a lot of ways. So I commend you guys on having that. Because when you look at this, bringing this new program, there is a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on you as the new head coach, right? And things like that, a lot of pressure on the athletic administration to make this program successful. And so to be able to bring that component to your program is, I mean, spot on. I commend you guys for doing that, because these girls are going to come in to this inaugural program and go, okay, we've got to go out and win the world. But you just want to win the day, right? So starting small, giving them baby steps, and working with that mental capacity and reducing that stress. I mean, that's huge.
I think it starts with coaching too. Like we talk about, we set standards and we set expectations and we set this culture. And, you know, if your coaches aren't living by this standard or this culture, what we're preaching, why would your kids ever do that? So for me, that's just a big thing of when we set these things, me living by them as well, like not doing anything. I'm not going to ask anything of my kids that I don't do every day. You know, wake up, go to class, wake up. I mean, I'm doing my master's right now. So when we talk about going to class, you know, we're waking up, we're all going to class, you know, working out, getting your stuff done. But that is a big thing. And, you know, I think about that a lot, like our first home game, you know, and we talk about this of like, how can I take this pressure off of them that first home game? Because that's scary, you know. Not only are you this first team, but now you're this first team to ever play on this court, and do this and do that. And that's just our big thing, is we just take that day by day, and it's just like any other day when we step out on that court.
That's awesome. Coach, I really appreciate you coming in today and sharing those things, because I think it's a thing that, one, you know, for guys, we don't ever really talk about our feelings, right? I think it's a little bit of different dynamic. I coached girls sports for 21 years, and we were always having some conversations with girls, because, you know, the adage is that if guys play well, they feel well, and if girls feel well, they play well, right? So we were always having that, how you doing? You know, how's the relationship with the boyfriend? Because, you know, and I'm teaching my point guard, you know, crossover dribbles and stuff, and she's got issues with the boyfriend. We weren't having a good day at practice. And so we always just trying to keep them cheery and jolly and things like that, and somewhat talk about those things without being too personable and too out of you know, areas that we didn't need to be as coaches, things like that. But you know, I really appreciate you saying that, because I think that aspect really needs to trickle down. And now we're even seeing it because our middle school kids are being bombarded with social medias and
Absolutely.
things like that. That pressure of being an athlete even before you get to high school.
For sure.
I mean, I was more worried about, you know, hanging out with my buddies and riding bikes and going hunting and fishing when I was in 6th and 7th grade. Now these kids are doing 100 games of summer, you know, at basketball courts or volleyball courts around the soccer fields around the country. And I think the added pressure that they're receiving just puts a mental block on them a lot of ways. And sometimes I think it hurts kids because they don't ever develop into what they fully could have been because of all that pressure that's put on them.
Well, and I love that you said that too, because that's another big thing is, I don't know, the pressure aspect is so huge. And, you know, something we talk about as well is I want you to feel how you're feeling. If you're feeling some type of way, and I tell them, you're going to show up some days and you're not going to want to be here and you're going to want to quit, and the weight of the world feels so heavy, and maybe your boyfriend broke up with you, or let's be realistic, maybe class sucked, you failed a test, something's going to happen. I want you to feel those feelings, and then I want us to work past them, because I think that's where mental toughness comes in. But I don't ever want you to feel some type of way and push it down because you feel like you can't feel that way, and I think that's the best way to just release it. And we talk about that. I know some days you're not going to feel the best, but, you know, understanding, okay, today I don't feel my best. What gratitude can I find today? Before practices, they get a journal and they write down 3 things that they're grateful for, 3 things they want to work on in practice, and then after practice we write again, you know, 3 things we're grateful for, 3 things. I think gratitude is the bridge that gaps, you know, all of the things that come together. I think the same with social media. We talk about, like, the things that you listen to, the things that you watch, you know, it's the people you surround yourself with. That's who you're going to be. If you're looking on social media and you're looking at the big Division I athletes, or you're looking at girls that look a certain way, like, it's going to negatively impact you. So making sure that you're looking at things and doing things that, you know, ultimately are positively going to impact you. So
yeah, it's hard to be Taylor Swift out on the volleyball court.
Right,
you know?
exactly. And I don't want you to be Taylor Swift. Right. Well, and we talk about that too. Like, there's so many things we just talk about, and I love it, of just like, all of you are different in your own way, and that's the beautiful thing of recruiting, is I don't want to recruit the same person 2 or 3 times, because then what's the point? Like, you're all this piece to the puzzle that all fits in together. I don't want you to be, I don't want Tegan to feel like she has to be someone else just because Tegan has things in her that no one else on my team has. And I think that's the special thing, if everyone just has something different that they bring to the table.
You got your own thing that you contribute to the team, and that's what makes the team dynamic so important, right? I meant to ask this earlier, but and then we'll kind of wrap it up with this. But were you able to have any of your girls in the spring semester? You talked about some practice things already. So did you have some practices going on in the spring with girls that will be back in the fall?
I did.
Okay, so
I do have 3 sophomores. We did practice in the spring. It went really well. It was really good to get back on the court for me. Admin work building for, you know, 8 months is hard whenever I love being a coach and I love being interactive and being on the court. So that was really special, just being able to get on the court and practice and run through plays, run through sets, you know, kind of get them up to par of, you know, this is the standard, this is what we want for our program. You know, you've only been here for half a semester, but now it's your job to go and lead. That's the biggest thing, you know, with the first year. And we have a transfer as well coming in from New Mexico State Junior College. That's a big thing of leadership, talking about sophomore leadership you know, you haven't been here that long, but these are kind of the expectations that are going to be put on you for being older.
Right. Plus, they missed that fall season of volleyball, right? Because they were students that didn't, for whatever reason, continue their volleyball career.
For sure.
Now they have this opportunity within their school that's programs being started to come back in and pick up that sport that they loved and maybe were really good at, and for whatever reason didn't play. So it's an opportunity.
And I think that's just a telling of, you know, these 2 schools adding, like, how much talent there was that didn't go play somewhere because they didn't have opportunities. You know, the 3 sophomores I have now, one had almost 900 assists her senior year, which is very unheard of.
Wow.
Incredible. I have a middle blocker that played at Crockett that is also incredible. They just didn't have the opportunity, the funds to go to a 4-year school or the opportunity to play at a JUCO, and they bought into understanding, okay, Jackson State might get a volleyball team. So I think that's just really cool, and seeing, like, these kids would have went and played on if this opportunity would have been here. So now it's cool that they get, you know, this opportunity.
You made mention of young lady that's going to play basketball and volleyball.
Yeah.
Do you have multiples of those, or is it just one? Or
I do
is
have
it-
two. So
Okay.
Brooklyn Spate, she'll be one of my sophomores. She played basketball this past year. Really incredible. She went to Bartlett High School. Really great kid. Really feisty. Going to be really good for us. Also, Callie, she's from Dyersburg. She's coming in. She'll be an incoming freshman, so
okay.
she'll play both as well.
Right.
Really great kid, really incredible at both sports. I think for her, it's a really good opportunity to play both at the JUCO level and then be able to go on and play at a high level and potentially play both sports as well.
Yeah. I just think that you mentioned this earlier about kids needing to work on their game,
Sure.
right, and not maybe have that pressure of D1,
Yeah.
and then never being able to transfer from a small D1 to a larger D1
Yeah.
because of it. But here, if you can save a year, you can go into a program that has great coaching, that's going to have good competition, that's going to create that learning arena for you,
Yeah.
and then you're going to be able to grow through that and then transfer again, saving that year potentially.
Yeah.
You know, that's not official
Would be the
yet,
hopes,
but
for sure.
right. So you still get to go to 4-year D1 school, you know, maybe down the road, or get 3 years out of it.
For sure.
That would be so awesome, I think, for these kids. But it's just it's one of those things. Alexis, thanks so much for coming in
Yeah.
today. I greatly appreciate it, and you know, I definitely want to continue these conversations.
sure.
Continue to promote Jackson State volleyball, all the programs over there. I mean, a heck of coaches going on over there. It's great to see some young, fresh talent. You know, Coach Cates is you know, a younger man. I actually coached him in high school,
Really?
and you know, he played. I was a principal when he played as well, and to be able to see him grow and mature and things like that, and then, you know, the addition now of course cross country, a little more mature coaches in
Yeah.
age, and that's okay. That's fine. Our folks here locally from from USJ, but to have that young, fresh talent, we know that, hey, if this works out and this is the fit, that, I mean, you have the potential to stay around for years and years to come, right? And it's just to know that stability is potentially there.
For sure.
Is really cool to have.
I think just to add, all of our coaches, they are so good. Softball this year has had another record year. She's really awesome. I think working in a department that's got another young female coach that's successful is just something that's inspiring.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's something I want to do is, you know, not just come and be successful and win, but, you know, help young women, you know, empower young women to be better and want to go play at that high level. So I just think it's really cool with the coaches that we do have, you know, having that younger face. I think a lot of times you don't find athletic departments that want that younger, you know, aspect in there, but it's really cool when you find a place that
Yeah.
trusts the younger coach to, you know, want to build them and want to help start their career. And
Well, and I'm going to give you props, too, because your young face here, you just turned 24, right?
Yes.
And so, but your message and your tone and your demeanor is very mature in coaching, and so I expect nothing but great things out of volleyball over there at Jackson State, and I can't wait for the season to kick off,
Yeah.
and to be able to come out and watch some games and report and have some conversations about
sure.
this as this
Absolutely.
team continues to grow and mature.
Yeah.
Players report at the end of July.
They do.
For school, and then August 1st, everything kicks off, and
Yes.
boy, then it's just it's snowball from there. It'll
it
go
just
so
goes
quick.
crazy. Yeah. I feel like you blink and it just.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't. You said 8 months, and I hadn't realized it's been
So
you know,
long.
probably 6-7 months since we
Yeah.
got you here. I mean, or maybe even closer to 8 months.
I feel like I blinked and it literally
yeah,
just.
I didn't realize. I
time
thought it was the
flies.
spring semester
Yeah.
that you came in,
Yeah.
not the fall.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, no, that was like last
was
November.
like end of November, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, holy cow, I can't
So
even
crazy.
believe it.
Yeah.
And just very excited for you
Thank you.
and the school, and very happy to see us continue to grow.
Yeah.
And for me, somebody who's been involved in high school sports for 26 years, it's something that it's another opportunity for our kids to stay
Yeah.
local and do things. And I'm just so, I mean, overly exuberant about what Jackson State is giving these opportunities athletically and
Absolutely.
academically. I don't want to
For sure.
ever say that that's not important, but
sure.
it is Sports Talk Live with the coach, not Math
So-
Talk Live with the coach. So we're just going to roll with it. But thanks for coming in today.
Absolutely.
And we'll get a spot on sometime in August
sure.
when you're not out of town already, and we'll talk. Maybe we can just do a broadcast from Jackson State
That'd be
before
awesome.
a game or
Bring
something.
yourself-
I mean,
yeah,
we'll
that'd be
just
really
set it up
cool.
over there and do even a midweek show or
Yeah,
something.
that'd
That'd be
be
really
awesome.
cool. So thanks for coming in. Good
Absolutely.
luck with the
Thank you,
season.
thank you,
and
thank you.
if it gets kicked off before we talk again, we wish you guys nothing but much success.
For
Go
sure.
beat those Dyersburg folks.
Ooh, are we? We'll come back to this when we play.
That's
we'll
it.
see.
Hey, let's not put too many pressures on there. But hey, we hope you guys have
Thank
much
you.
success. Sports Talk Live with the coach Alexis Capellas, head coach over at Jackson State Community College volleyball program. The inaugural season kicks off this August, guys. I was going to say get your season tickets, but everybody gets season tickets because
Everybody come out.
they're
Everyone
free.
come watch us play.
What the heck? How can you pay for a program and it all be free? But that's what they're doing over at Jackson State. They're making it economical for folks as well. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, it'll just be my face. She's got to go, folks. But good luck to Jackson State and everyone there. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back to wrap things up. We got soccer, WPSL action, Women's Premier Soccer League this afternoon, 2:30 at USJ. And come out and watch these young ladies take on, I believe, Birmingham FC coming to town today. So, some very good summer soccer going on right here in Jackson. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Planning your financial future can be a daunting task. With all the things you want to achieve, how do you prepare so your money will go the distance? Here's some advice that may help. Why not talk to your local Woodman Life representative? They can answer all your questions, and together you can fill out a free needs analysis to help identify your short and long-term financial goals. Our representative can then recommend insurance and annuity solutions to help make your financial future safe and secure, so that all those things you want to achieve remain firmly in your sights.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bonifer, your local Woodman Life representative. Did you know that the life insurance you have through work may not be there for you if you change jobs? Call me at 731-423-4784 to discuss your options for protecting your family's financial future.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Get ready, basketball fans, and welcome to The Bounce, your go-to destination for all things hoops. Join us every Thursday night from 6 to 7 p.m. starting February 13th as Andrew Hicks will bring you the wildest highlights, in-depth discussions on trades, injury updates, and those unforgettable buzzer beaters. Whether you're a hardcore enthusiast or just looking for some epic plays, we've got something for everyone. So grab your favorite snacks and tune in for the action-packed episodes each and every Thursday night on the Hub City Sports Network. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, and we'll see you in the next stream.
As the road you travel changes, so can your insurance needs. Talking with Farmers Insurance agent Jeremy Chandler can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. There's a reason the Jeremy Chandler Agency was voted Best Insurance Agency in VIP Magazine's Best in Jackson 2024. Give Jeremy a call today at 731-FARMERS and find out why. That's Jeremy Chandler at 731-327-6377 or contact him at 731farmers.com.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
along with the simulators, the pool tables, and such. So Tuesday night right here at Caddy Sports Club's Family Night, 4 to 7 p.m. And then I believe they're open till 9 new hours, 4 to 9 during the week, Monday through or Tuesday through Thursday, excuse me. And then on Friday 4 to 11, and then Saturday and Sunday, Saturdays 11 to 11. And then Sunday 11 to 7. So that's their new summer hours. And folks are, you get out on the golf course. I understand. I mean, it is what it is. But come on over here to Caddy's afterwards and work on that flop shot that you've been missing out there on the course when you need to get some extra practice in after hours. We want to do that right here at Caddy's Sports Club, and we've had a great morning already. We've got an early day today because we got USL or WPSL, excuse me, soccer going on right here in town today at USJ as the Jackson Ignite take on Birmingham FC right here in Jackson. But make sure you get out here to Caddy's Dollar Wing Wednesday. If you've not had wings yet, definitely want to catch that, and who knows, you might even catch a new scramble, or the 2-man scramble, the leagues that they have going on here. You definitely don't want to miss those opportunities right here at Caddy's. So get over here. Dollar Wings all day on Wednesdays, and then also they have the Ultimate Happy Hour on a Thursday as well. So great specials going on at Caddy's. Get over here. I mean, they've got the world-class staff, and then again, some of the best simulators in the world right here to play some golf on. So the coach is going to have to get over here and start working out his swing and getting that ready to go. So hey, we might have a show and we might just play 9 holes and challenge the coach. How about that? I would think that everybody above the age of 3 will beat me, but that's okay. Let's make it happen anyway. But we might have to see if we can work that out. We may catch that and do a challenge the coach day and go ahead and stream that live right here from Caddy's Sports Club in Jackson, Tennessee. They've got all kinds of specials, and I'm telling you what, world-class folks right here at Caddy Sports Club. We started out this morning talking about just some of the things going on in the world of women's softball, the College World Series going on. Talked a little bit about that. Then we spoke with Lindsay Dawkins Moon from the Jackson Chamber of Commerce as Jackson, Tennessee has been awarded state games, I guess from forever, but state games coming to Jackson, Tennessee, and it will kick off next Friday at 6:30 p.m. Gates open at Rockabilly Stadium right here at the ballpark in Jackson, Tennessee. The parade of athletes. There is a concert from an ensemble from U of M, and then the lighting of the torch, the Olympic torch, that will happen right there on the field at the Rockabilly Stadium. And so Rockabilly's red hot. We talked about that just a little bit. And we'll run down some of those things once again. Strikeout night, strikeout cancer night at the ballpark Wednesday, June 4th. Make sure you head over there and help make an impact on cancer. That's sponsored by the Alice and Carl Kirkland Cancer Center. Rockabilly's got an 8-7 win over the Cape Catfish. Go Goats. And the go to the game, number 14, Brett Rogers. And we're going to we'll try to get Dennis on as well, owner of the Rockabillys, and talk about some sports, baseball with him. Again, if you can catch it right here on the Hub City Sports Network currently on Facebook and on our YouTube page. But I'm going to post a picture on our social about the impact of that softball and the dirt clog that got fired 70 miles an hour at the catcher. And what an explosion in that game. And wow, I mean, that was a crazy pitch and a sequence of events right there in the Oregon game last night. Tennessee gets the 11-3 victory over Florida in the College World Series of softball, and so they will advance as well. In other sporting news, when we're looking at now locally, obviously our sports have wrapped up for the season. High school sports are over, and lots of finalists and even some state champion winners. You can check out our Facebook pages for those individuals. But Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, that game is tonight, 7 p.m. Indiana hosting New York. Indiana leads that series 3-2. They can close out at home tonight over New York, but New York's putting up a fight. And so, yeah, what a series there. How about that New York and LA Dodger baseball game? LA, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, they putting on a show, and it's Ohtani, and I said Shohei Ohtani because that's what I call him, the show, right? And so putting on a show last night, 8-5, the winners in that game, the Dodgers. And so so now there's talk in college football about a potential change in format. And so who knows what will happen with that. But there is 11 plus 5, which would give you the 16 teams in the college playoff championship format in college football. So going away from the top 12 and going to 16 is the potential there. So some big scores there, and scores that, like as I said, the Knicks and the Pacers will play today. PSG and Inter Milan play also in the UEFA Championship League in soccer. We got women's and men's tennis going on in the Roland Garros tournament. And also we have the Birmingham Open in tennis going on as well. In other news in sports, looking for those baseball scores, right? So yesterday, North Carolina got past Holy Cross, 4-0 winner there. East Carolina tops Florida in the Conway Regional, 11-6. Cincinnati gets Wake Forest 11-6 as well. Texas beats Houston Christian 7-1. Louisville tops ETSU 8-3. West Virginia beats Kentucky 4-3. Arkansas gets North Dakota State 6-2. Florida State wins over Bethune 6-2. USC trounces TCU. The Battle of the Letters 13-1. Georgia thumps Birmingham 20-4. Miami gets Alabama 5-3. UCLA over Fresno State 19-4. Georgia Tech 9-2 over Western Kentucky. Arizona 3-2 over Cal Poly, and Stetson over NC State 11-2. Vanderbilt right here in the Nashville Regional. Vanderbilt gets Wright State. Close one there, 4-3. Vanderbilt, the number 1 seed in that region. In the Knox region, Tennessee gets a win 9-2 over Miami of Ohio. UTSA 10-2 over Kansas State. Clemson 7-3 over SC Upstate. St. Mary's gets Oregon State 6-4. Murray State getting a win over Ole Miss in baseball. Go Murray State 9-6, beating that SEC team. Columbia 11, Southern Miss 4. Oklahoma State loses to Duke 12-5. Creighton 11, Kansas 4, Auburn 9, Connecticut 5, Central Connecticut 5. LSU over Little Rock, and there's another story about an LSU team. I want to get to that before we get out of here. Oklahoma beats Nebraska 7-4. Oregon loses to Utah Valley 6-5. Oregon State 4, UC Irvine 2, Mississippi State 11, Northeastern 2. Coastal Carolina 10, Fairfield 2. Lots of something to 2 games here. And Dallas Baptist beat Rhode Island 6-2. So that's your round of regional play there. So lots of games going on today. I'm telling you, if you're a baseball, softball fanatic, this is your time of the year. I did want to make mention, though, of a story that I saw, and I almost couldn't believe my ears on this. But what a story out of Shreveport, Louisiana, as LSU Shreveport becomes the first team to ever finish baseball undefeated. Undefeated in baseball. They were 59-0 this year in baseball. They defeated Southeastern out of Florida 13-7 yesterday to win the NAIA World Series, and the first one in program history to go 59-0. Wow, what a season! What a high of a season right there in baseball. And with that, guys, we are going to go to a commercial break. We'll come back and wrap things up. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Planning your financial future can be a daunting task. With all the things you want to achieve, how do you prepare so your money will go the distance? Here's some advice that may help. Why not talk to your local Woodman Life representative? They can answer all your questions, and together you can fill out a free needs analysis to help identify your short and long-term financial goals. Our representative can then recommend insurance and annuity solutions to help make your financial future safe and secure, so that all those things you want to achieve remain firmly in your sights.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bonifer, your local Woodman Life representative. Did you know that the life insurance you have through work may not be there for you if you change jobs? Call me at 731-423-4784 to discuss your options for protecting your family's financial future.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Get ready, basketball fans, and welcome to The Bounce, your go-to destination for all things hoops. Join us every Thursday night from 6 to 7 p.m. starting February 13th, as Andrew Hicks will bring you the wildest highlights, in-depth discussions on trades, injury updates, and those unforgettable buzzer beaters. Whether you're a hardcore enthusiast or just looking for some epic plays, we've got something for everyone. So grab your favorite snacks and tune in for the action-packed episodes each and every Thursday night on the Hub City Sports Network. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, and we'll see you in the next stream.
As the road you travel changes, so can your insurance needs. Talking with Farmers Insurance agent Jeremy Chandler can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. There's a reason the Jeremy Chandler Agency was voted Best Insurance Agency in VIP Magazine's Best in Jackson 2024. Give Jeremy a call today at 731-FARMERS and find out why. That's Jeremy Chandler at 731-327-6377 or contact him at 731farmers.com.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
And welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton. We've got soccer going on. WPSL action over at USJ coming on here about 2:30. I'm going to have to cut it a little short to get over there. We'll be broadcasting that game live right on the Jackson Boom Facebook page. And you can see it right here at Caddy's as well. If you come over and want to sit inside and enjoy yourself a nice cold beverage. But come on out and support the Jackson Ignite. Had a great show this morning. Again, state games talked about right here. And you can get information, stategamestn.com, and get your information there along with Jackson State Community College Volleyball. Hey, we're excited about that program and wish Coach Capellas and her staff all the success, and go bring home that championship. That's a championship or bust. So no, just no pressure there, Coach. No pressure. Appreciate you coming in this morning. And so we're going to cut, again, things a little short today. Normally we go another hour, but our summer months we tend to cut things a little shorter. But nonetheless, we want to always make sure that all of our local sports are covered. And so great conversations this morning. Guys, thanks for sticking in with us. And if you're rewatching this, thanks for rewatching the shows. And big news for Sports Talk Live and the Hub City Sports Network coming down the pipe. Stay tuned for those announcements. And going to be very excited to talk about where the show is going and what we'll be doing coming this fall. So from all of us of the Hub City Sports Network, I'm Coach T. Stratton. Have a great Saturday. Come and check out WPSL action over at USJ 2:30 this afternoon. It's a $10 ticket to get in. Come on, folks. Come on out and watch and support your local players right here in Jackson and West Tennessee. So for all of us, again, Coach T. Stratton signing off. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Saturday. And then we're off 2 weeks. So don't go away, but big news. And we'll see you in the next stream.